Hello, good peoples. Excuse my hair. It's close to beauty shop day. It's almost at the end of the week. I been sweating in my head a lot, so I had a cancellation. So I said, well, let me get on here and begin my journey of telling my journey of a LPC-A. Um, I know people are wondering, okay, what may be her story, or those that know my story, what am I going to talk about, or how much I'm going to tell. Um, First of all, I'm going to tell the things that I'm led to tell. Um, that's how it's going to work. Um, First of all, I've always wanted to be in the helping field. Let's just start there. I always wanted to be a certified registered nurse anesthesiologist ever since I was a little girl. Life happened, it didn't go that way. Um, I changed my major to psychology early on. Um, and I began school, my journey to be a counselor. Life is happening again. I started working at Smith County Juvenile Services in 2001 as a case agent to 2003, and I began to work in detention. So my starting my journey there, I was like, okay, look, I have a little girl. Um, I'm making, fairly good money. School was on hold. I was living life. Life was life. Well, when I do know when you have a calling on your life, no matter how that looks, God is going to put you on the track you're supposed to be on. And that's what happened for me. Uh, Through trials, tribulations, I do know God and uh, the devil will work through people around you. It could be strangers, family, friends, co-workers. Uh, the spirit will work through people to either push or pull you in the direction that you're supposed to go and experience. For me, at a certain point in my life, I became complacent, or I figured, okay, I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing, the job I'm doing at Smith County Juvenile Services. But those that know my real story, I went through a lot of heartache, pain, lies, everything in between for me to be pushed into my calling. So, went back to school. Um, I obtained my master's in clinical mental health counseling. As I was a juvenile probation officer at this time. So, my plan in my mind was, okay, I got my master's, passed my state exam, and let's talk about that. I took my state licensure exam, the NCE. First time I did not pass. I missed about 7 points. I was devastated. I studied. I knew the work. But let me tell you, I went in there nervous wreck. I didn't take any breaks. I didn't write any notes. I didn't do no affirmations. I was just totally in self. Uh, I waited a couple of months. My support team, my friends, and a few family members uh, prayed for me. I did what I had to do, buckle down, started all over again, started my studying again, uh, got some new material, and that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna take the test again. This time, when I went in, I wrote down my favorite scripture. I wrote down a couple of affirmations. I wrote down some things, some notes that I needed to look at if it would come up on the test. So I was well prepared. Still a little doubt in my mind, but at the same time, I was like, what's for me is for me. Took the test. The woman handed me uh, the paper, and she kind of had a little smile. It wasn't a big smile, but it was, I could tell it was a pleasant look on her face. I just walked to the restroom. I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at it. Whatever it is, I'm gonna be okay. Looked at it, I passed. And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna start this journey. But I was pushed, pulled, and everything to do. Because when I tell you, when you have a calling on your life, I promise you, you're gonna be pushed, pulled, you're gonna go through some things until you decide to, like, okay, give in to it. So now this is when I tell you the other push and pull started at my job. So I was like, okay, I passed my state licensure exam. Um, Going to work, I said, okay, God, I know I want my private practice. I'm all spiritual, love God, believe in Jesus, but at the same time, I know God for myself. Um, Wrote down my affirmations, put it in my Bible. I wrote down specific things that I wanted in life regarding what I wanted to look like. Put it in my Bible, prayed over it. Um, so I told myself, I was like, okay, look, I'm going to finish my 3,000 hours uh, while I'm working part time. Uh, After 5, have my clients, and I began that. So I went back to my supervisor that I had while I was in school, um, that I did my internship with, which it was a great experience. I won't say any names. I will not say what business that the name of her business is, but I will say this: she lives out of Dallas. I believe her husband is from Tyler. That's how they met at UT Tyler. She had a business counseling service here in Tyler, and also one in Mesquite or Sunnyvale. And I was like, okay, I had a great experience. So what I was told in school, what they told us is, if you go, work, wherever you work while earning your 3,000 hours, sometimes they would either, apply that to your um, supervision fees, or, it'll be like, I would say discounted, split in half, or however, make out a deal. Well, so I went to her, and she was already knew that I was coming back to her. So, which it started out as a pleasant until I got my contract. But my experience, what I know now, is to ask questions. We are trusting of people that we are familiar with. And my mistake was I didn't have a interview, But at the same time, I didn't ask the questions that I needed to ask, and of course, I was naive to a lot of stuff as well too, coming on new as a uh, LPC-A. So the things that I should have asked is me working for you. What would be the supervision fees and the percentage they would get off the top. Well, my experience was with this supervisor is she charged 500 an hour, for supervision fees, which you're supposed to have 4 a month. So it's 500 a month. Um, Plus the clients that were given to me, they received 20% and I got 80. Well, excited, was going good. Still working as a probation officer. Um, got a couple of clients, which was cool. I'm in that thing, doing my thing, paying my supervision fees, $500, even though it was hitting my pockets. But then at the same time, I was like, okay, I thought that, our police was going to either get a discount or, if you're working for your supervisor in her or his counseling service, it's offset. So that wasn't the case for me. So number one, ask questions. Ask questions. Write them down. I was just naive. I had a friend that I still communicated with from school. And, everybody experience is different. So I was listening to her, getting advice and all the paperwork, and that's the thing she helped me with. Like once you pass your test, the things that you needed to do, and then I had a mentor as well that I still had my notes for when I passed my test, what to do. I already had my name thought out of when I want my business already to start my LLC, get my EIN, all of that. So I started that journey and that process to, just have it, get it started. But down the line, things started to go left after a couple of months. So, have to stay tuned. As they say, like, share, subscribe, I guess. But I'm gonna get ready for my next session. So I'm going to, I guess, upload this video, try to see what I'm doing. I think it's kind of like when I was doing mock sessions. So hopefully it hasn't changed. So I'm going to upload this to YouTube. So this is the video 1 of my journey. I will continue with my next video about having my experience with my first supervisor.